The homeless crisis in the United States has been steadily growing in recent years, reaching record highs in 2022. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, there were roughly 1 million people experiencing homelessness in the U.S. last year. This number represents a 6% increase from the previous year. Explore America's top 10 most homeless states. 10. Arizona. Arizona faces a burgeoning homelessness crisis, with a 23% increase in its unhoused population between 2020 and 2022, significantly exceeding the national average. This translates to over 29,500 individuals experiencing homelessness, with a majority living unsheltered. The cost of living in Arizona, particularly housing costs, has increased significantly in recent years. In August 2022, the Phoenix metro area recorded the fourth highest number of evictions in the United States, highlighting the housing affordability crisis. 9. Nevada. Nevada is facing a growing crisis of poverty and homelessness. The state has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation, with over 15% of residents living below the poverty line. The homeless population in Nevada has also been growing rapidly, with over 32,000 people experiencing homelessness on any given night. The majority of homeless people in Nevada are unsheltered, meaning that they are living on the streets, in cars, or in other places not meant for human habitation. The homeless population in Nevada is also disproportionately made up of children, with over 20% of homeless people being under the age of 18. 8. Massachusetts. Despite being one of the wealthiest states in the United States, Massachusetts faces a growing crisis of poverty and homelessness. Housing costs in Massachusetts are some of the highest in the nation, outpacing income growth for many residents. The median home price in the Boston area, for example, is over $800,000, making homeownership a distant dream for many families. The number of people experiencing homelessness in Massachusetts has been rising for several years. The most recent count, conducted in 2020, found that there were over 39,471 people experiencing homelessness in the state. 7. Hawaii. Hawaii, often depicted as a paradise with stunning beaches and lush landscapes, faces a stark reality: a growing poverty and homelessness crisis. Hawaii has the highest per capita rate of homelessness in the United States, with 490 homeless individuals for every 100,000 residents. Nearly 50% of Hawaii households struggle to make ends meet. Approximately 11% of the population lives below the federal poverty line. Hawaii has the highest cost of living in the United States, with housing costs being the most significant factor. The median home price in Honolulu, for example, is over $1 million, making it virtually impossible for many residents to afford homeownership. 6. Oregon. Oregon faces a growing crisis of poverty and homelessness, with both issues interconnected and exacerbating each other. As of 2022, the state had an estimated 52,000 individuals experiencing homelessness, representing a 23% increase from 2020. Oregon's minimum wage is $12 per hour, which is below the living wage in many parts of the state. This makes it difficult for working families to make ends meet and afford basic necessities. 5. Texas. Texas, the second most populous state in the United States, is facing a growing crisis of poverty and homelessness. The number of people living in poverty in Texas has been on the rise in recent years. The number of homeless people in Texas has also been increasing in recent years. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, there were an estimated 87,845 homeless people in Texas in 2022. The poverty rate in Texas has been increasing steadily in recent years. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the poverty rate in Texas was 15.4% in 2021, up from 13.4% in 2016. This means that more than 4.5 million Texans were living below the poverty line. 4. Washington. The number of people experiencing homelessness in Washington is also at an all-time high. According to the 2022 point-in-time count, there were 92,335 people experiencing homelessness in Washington on a single night. This is a 14% increase from 2020. The growing poverty and homelessness crisis is having a devastating impact on individuals, families, and communities across Washington. Individuals experiencing poverty and homelessness are at risk for a number of health problems, including mental health problems, substance abuse, and chronic diseases. They are also less likely to be employed, and more likely to experience food insecurity. 3. Florida. Florida, the Sunshine State, is known for its beautiful beaches, vibrant culture, and booming economy. However, beneath the surface, a growing crisis is unfolding. Poverty and homelessness are on the rise. Florida has the third highest homeless population in the United States, with over 105,959 individuals experiencing homelessness in 2022. This number is likely to increase in the coming years. Florida's poverty rate stood at 11.4%, significantly higher than the national average. Over 2.5 million Floridians living below the poverty line. 2. New York. New York City, often referred to as the city that never sleeps, is also a city that grapples with significant growing poverty and homelessness. As of January 2023, there were an estimated 268,736 homeless individuals living in New York City shelters, a 68% increase from a decade ago. 1. California. California, despite its booming economy and reputation as a land of opportunity, faces a significant and growing crisis: poverty and homelessness. While the Golden State boasts some of the most affluent individuals and businesses in the world, it also houses a disproportionate share of the nation's unhoused population. California has the highest homeless population in the United States, with over 371,500 people experiencing homelessness on a single night in 2022. This represents nearly 30% of the nation's homeless population. Approximately 1 in 8 Californians live in poverty. This translates to over 8.2 million people living below the poverty line.